Things may burst up here suddenly, so all should be prepared. I intend adhering to our original plans as closely as possible, but the changes in the situation have to be met as they arise. Eamon de la Vera writes to Michael Collins, both brave hearts in the push for independence in the Irish Revolution of 1916. Monday, April 25th, 1916. The eerie mist from the bay crept in and weaved through Dublin's low-lying hills. The Irish Republican Army is about to make their mark, known as the Eastern Rising. Patrick Pearse, one of the IRA leaders, climbed the steps of Dublin's General Post Office to declare the proclamation of the Republic. This addressed Ireland's wants for independence from the British, and that the needs of citizens were not being met by the government. At this time, there was a large potato famine throughout Ireland. The British failed to acknowledge this crisis and therefore did not manage to give aid. This shows that the British were incapable of holding responsibility for the rule of another country. The address given by Pearse was proclaimed at a suitable time for Ireland. While Ireland was fighting for its rights, the British were at war with Germany during World War I and were fearing defeat, causing them to have the appearance of a weak country as well as being distracted from the Irish. Brawls broke from the haze as armed militant boats fired upon 2,500 Irish revolters from the Liffey River. The battle lasted about 5 days until the IRA as well as the UVF, or Ulster Volunteer Forces, surrendered at the very steps of the post office. In total, there are about 450 deaths and 2,614 injuries. Members of the IRA were shot later that week after being imprisoned. Everyone who fought in the battle proclaimed themselves as part of the Great Irish Republic. This defeat did not seize the hope of the Irish. It fueled them and gave them greater ambition to put an end to the Home Rule in Ireland. Members of the IRA that did survive threw terror upon the City of London in attempts to place bombs in street cans. Ireland also brought about the Sinn Féin Party, which is the left-wing Irish Republican political party. Sinn Féin translates literally into "we ourselves," and today is the second largest political party in Ireland. The Anglo-Irish Treaty was passed in December 1921 after several months of negotiation with the Sinn Féin Party. The British wanted to remove all arms of the IRA, and in exchange, the British would give Southern Ireland its freedom. Today, Northern Ireland is still under the rule of the British government due to this treaty. The Irish set an example for the power of man. Even several years after the Irish Revolution, it has influenced the youth and working class of other nations to take charge of pursuing a better form of equality in their government. Like the Occupy Wall Street movement, the Irish wanted to create equality throughout their government's power and create a more substantial tax rate. People spoke freely about why and what they are fighting for.
As soon as you have evidence on your paycheck that you may want to do that you are many people not qualified, and you have millions of people right now that they do not qualify for any type of free, Medicaid or nothing.
Without the brave hearts of the Irish, we would simply not have the same courage to stand up for the rights of man. Generations would have no honest example of courage to follow by, and the definition of change and revolution would consist of a different meaning in the eyes of the youth. And if it weren't for the brave men of the Revolution who saved my grandfather, I wouldn't be here today.